If you're a quality pro, you know the deal. You're constantly trying to turn these complicated, messy processes into something that's just crystal clear. Well, in this explainer, we're going to crack open the toolbox from ISO 1009 and show you some seriously powerful tools to do just that. Let's get into it.
So let me ask you something. Think about a big process at your job right now. Is it like a perfect recipe? One that anyone can follow and get the same great result every single time? Or is it maybe a little more like a chaotic mess, where everybody kind of has their own way of doing things, and you're never quite sure who's responsible for what? If that second one sounds a little too familiar, don't worry, you are in exactly the right place.
All right, here's our game plan. First, we'll look at the toolkit itself. Then we're going to start with the big picture, zoom right into the nitty-gritty details, map out who does what, and finally lock in the controls to keep it all running smoothly. It's a logical path from way up high right down to the ground level. Now, our guide on this journey is ISO 1009. Think of this as the international standard, the official playbook for quality pros on how to plan and manage processes the right way. The tools we're about to cover, they come straight from this standard, so you know they're tested, they're credible, and best of all, they're super practical. First things first, before we get lost in the weeds, we've got to understand the whole landscape of our process. And for that, we're going to use a tool called CPOC. I like to call this the satellite view because it gives you a look at everything involved, from the very beginning to the very end. So what on earth is a SIPOC? Well, it stands for suppliers, inputs, process, outputs, and customers. And its whole job is to help you draw a box around your process. Who gives you the stuff you need? What are the big steps? What do you create at the end? And who gets it? It's all about defining your scope so everyone's on the same page. Okay, let's make this super simple with an example we can all understand. Making a perfect espresso. The suppliers, that's our coffee roaster and the water company. The inputs they give us are roasted beans and filtered water. The process itself is, grind, tamp, and pull the shot. The output is that amazing cup of espresso. And the customer? That's the happy coffee lover. See how that just frames the whole operation nice and neat? The real magic of SIPOC is its simplicity. It's super easy to use, you get results fast, and you can see the entire process on one page. But here's the key. You have to resist the urge to get bogged down in detail. 4 or 5 main process steps is plenty. Remember, this is the satellite view. We're not down on the street level just yet. Okay, so we've got our high-level map. Now it's time to pick one of those key steps and put it right under the microscope. And for that, we're going to pull out another great visual tool, the turtle diagram. The turtle diagram is designed to show you everything, and I mean everything, about a single process step, all on one page. Yeah, it gets its name because it kind of looks like a turtle. It's awesome for really understanding how a process works, and let me tell you, auditors love this thing because it makes everything so incredibly clear. So the turtle's body is the process itself, with stuff going in and stuff coming out. But the real power is in the legs, head, and tail. These answer the most important questions. With what? That's your equipment. With whom? Those are the people and the skills they need. And the big one, how? This covers your methods and, crucially, your KPIs, the metrics you use to know if you're actually doing a good job. Let's use this for our pull the shot step. The input is ground coffee. The output is liquid espresso. With what? An espresso machine, of course. With whom? A trained barista. And how do we measure success? This is where it gets good. A specific KPI. Like shot extraction time must be between 25 and 30 seconds. Now you're talking. That's how you break a single step down to its essential parts. So why bother? Well, the turtle diagram is super visual and it's standardized, so everyone gets it immediately. It connects one small process step to your big picture goals. But you gotta remember, it's a starting point. It gives you an amazing snapshot, but it's not gonna replace your detailed work instructions. All right, we've seen the big picture and the tiny details. Now it's time to write the playbook. This is where we map out the exact sequence of events and, this is critical, define exactly who is supposed to do each thing. And for this job, we'll use 2 tools together, flowcharts and a Rossi matrix. We'll start with a special kind of flowchart called a swim lane diagram. It gets its name because, you guessed it, it looks like the lanes in a swimming pool. Each lane is for a person or department, and you can see the workflow as it moves from one lane to another. It is absolutely perfect for seeing those handoffs. Back to our coffee shop. Picture 3 lanes: customer, cashier, and barista. The process kicks off in the customer lane with place order. Then, whoosh, it moves to the cashier's lane for take payment. Then it zips over to the barista's lane for make espresso. And finally, it comes back to the customer. It's just a simple visual way to see who does what and when. No confusion. Now, to make things even clearer, we bring in the RACI matrix. This little chart is a lifesaver. It completely destroys any confusion about who does what. For every single task, it spells out who is responsible for doing it, who is accountable for it, who needs to be consulted, and who just needs to be kept informed. So for our espresso order, the barista is responsible for making the drink. The manager is ultimately accountable for the quality. Maybe the cashier gets consulted on a special order, and everyone working is informed when the drink is ready. This is how you completely get rid of anyone ever saying, "Oh, I thought you were doing that." When you use these two tools together, the benefits are just huge. The whole thing becomes visual and easy to get, responsibilities are totally clear, you kill all that ambiguity, and it actually helps build a stronger team because everyone knows exactly what their part is. Okay, we've mapped the process, we've assigned the roles. The last step, and it's a big one, is to build in the quality guardrails. We've got to make sure our process stays on the road and delivers a consistent quality result time and time again. And that is the job of the control plan. A control plan is pretty much what it sounds like. It's a structured document that lays out exactly how you're going to control your process to keep variation to a minimum. It identifies what's critical, how you'll measure it, and maybe most importantly, what you do if something goes off the rails. Let's whip up a mini plan for our espresso shot. One thing we have to control is the water temperature. The method for checking it? A digital thermometer. How often? Maybe at the start of every shift. And here's the kicker. What's the reaction plan if the temperature is wrong? Stop everything, halt production, and recalibrate the machine. It's a clear, non-negotiable instruction. The biggest win here is that you get a clear, structured way to maintain control, which is great for conformity and for audits. But just like our other tools, it's important to remember what it's not. A control plan is the high-level guide for quality. It does not replace those detailed work instructions for the person on the floor. And there you have it, your new toolkit for total process clarity, straight out of ISO 1009. We started with the SIPOC for our satellite view. We used the turtle diagram as our microscope. We built the playbook with flowcharts and RACI, and we set up our quality guardrails with a control plan. You now have the blueprint. You literally have the plan for turning chaos into clarity. So the only question left is, which chaotic process are you going to tackle first?